Adam Fleming. Health authorities in Spain on high alert after a 90-year-old woman died amid a listeria outbreak in the southern region of Andalusia. It's affected more than 100 people. Listeria can cause mild illness in healthy people, but can be dangerous to pregnant women. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
America spends 5 to 10 times more on health care than any other country in the world. Then why does America rank number 43 worldwide for longevity? Third world countries, such as Cuba and Costa Rica, rank higher than the U.S. So what's wrong with healthcare in America? This is what's wrong. Our $3 trillion healthcare industry is focused on disease management, while 70% of our planet relies on traditional indigenous medicine that is focused on health optimization. Learn how. Join Dr. Dan Royal on the show The Royal Treatment, bringing you the latest information on the best of medicine, biotechnology, and pharmacology, as well as secrets from the past. These secrets have withstood the test of time and are being rediscovered today. In fact, indigenous healthcare practitioners are using them for the benefit of their patients who seek optimal health and wellness. Now, here is Dr. Dan Royal.
Greetings, listeners. I am Dr. Dan Royal, R-O-Y-A-L, just like it sounds, Royal Blue. And you are now listening to The Royal Treatment. We are here every week to answer your health questions. And I know you have questions because, well, I see patients and they ask me questions all the time. We spend a lot of our time educating patients. And now, for the next hour, we get the opportunity to educate you. The purpose of our being here is to help provide you with information that can empower you to make better informed healthcare decisions. That is, if you're seeking optimal health and wellness. That is what we emphasize here at the Turtle Healing Band Clinic, one of the sponsors of our show. We're located here in Las Vegas. If you have a question for me, you can always email me at droyal, R-O-Y-A-L, at royalmedicalclinic.com. That's D as in Daniel, Royal, R-O-Y-A-L, at royalmedicalclinic, all one word, .com. Or you can call us here at the Turtle Healing Band Clinic, 702-562-1454. 702-562-1454. We answer all of our inquiries. And as I said before, if we use your question on the show, we will send you a free bottle of RBC Blend. It's a product we use to increase circulating stem cells in your blood, a proprietary process we use in the Turtle Healing Man Clinic to harvest stem cells from you, for various conditions, in much higher amounts than what we can get from, well, quite frankly, the stem cell banking companies that provide us the umbilical cord blood stem cells. That's a mouthful. That's typically where we get our pluripotent cells. You can also get stem cells from fat. You can get them from bone marrow, those are mesenchymal cells. But the RBC Blend helps to increase circulating pluripotent cells, similar to umbilical cord blood stem cells. That's a $100 value, including shipping, and we're happy to send it to you simply for emailing us your question that we use on the air. We'd also like to thank First Nation Medical Board. First Nation Medical Board is the entity that licenses practitioners of traditional medicine, which we also call indigenous medicine. Traditional medicine includes all things such as complementary, holistic, integrative, and so forth. These are the types of medicine that are practiced by those such as myself that are seeking to help patients achieve optimum health and wellness so they can enjoy a good and long quality of life. Current medical system is set up under disease management. They manage your symptoms, and it is a sick care system. But what they cannot do is help you get healthier. Unfortunately, every week, actually every day, but we review the obituaries here every week. People are dying too young from diseases they shouldn't have had. It's a real eye-opener. I believe we're probably the only program that reviews obituaries that are happening not just locally, but around the world. And we're going to do that on our show today, like we do every week. We keep an eye on this matter because life expectancy in the U.S. is declining. Did you know that people are dying younger in the United States all the time, that our healthcare quality has dropped to about 46 worldwide? That means that there are 45 more countries out there with a better healthcare system than we have. And it's continuing to decline. It's declined for 3 years. 2018 will be the fourth year in a row, setting a new record for the United States in declining life expectancy. Should be number one. Certainly could be if we cared enough to try. But when the focus is on sick care and not health care, well, you can see the results. So we will be reviewing obituaries today. We're also going to continue our discussion from last week, talking about eye health. Studies that have been done to show what we can do to improve our eye health. Your vision, very important, one of your five senses, you don't want to be without if you have it. And we're also going to talk about some other things that will be of interest to you that have been published in the recent week or so. So let's get right to it. We're going to review or start reviewing the obituaries, people who died too young from disease they shouldn't have locally. That's here in Las Vegas and in Reno, Nevada. First, we have a 17-year-old man who enjoyed theater arts and bowling. He died suddenly from an unknown lung infection. 17 years old. 28-year-old man, a certified factory Ford mechanic, passed away. 49-year-old man, a law enforcement officer with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, passed away unexpectedly, which usually means from a heart attack. 61-year-old man who worked as a cook in the hotel industry and at the Nevada test site passed away. 61-year-old woman passed away from an untimely death. 80-year-old woman, a business owner, passed away from dementia and heart disease. Remember, dementia is now the number one cause of death in the United Kingdom. 62-year-old woman passed away. We have a 64-year-old woman who passed away. 65-year-old man who worked in construction passed away. 67-year-old man, an author and musician, passed away peacefully in his sleep. 70-year-old man, a military veteran, passed away. And the VA healthcare system. We have a 71-year-old woman who passed away, a 73-year-old woman, and a 73-year-old man who passed away. 74-year-old woman who worked for Ford Motor Company passed away. 75-year-old man, a member of the electrical union, passed away. And a 75-year-old woman passed away from cancer. 75-year-old man who worked as a realtor and in the assessor's office passed away. 76-year-old woman, a registered nurse, passed away. 76-year-old man who worked at the Desert Research Institute passed away peacefully. 79-year-old woman who worked in the insurance industry passed away. And a 79-year-old woman who worked in cafeteria management for schools passed away peacefully. I'm Dr. Dan Roy. We're going to get to our discussion right after the break. You're listening to The Royal Treatment. Stay right with us.
After forming all the organs and body components necessary for human life, stem cells disappear, right? No! Stem cells are present in all of us, just waiting for an opportunity to regenerate organs, joints, ligaments, muscles, and other body tissues they originally formed. Dr. Dan Royal has developed a unique patent-pending process for obtaining stem cells from your own blood. Stem cells can be concentrated, prepared, and delivered to areas where you need them most to repair old, damaged, and dying cells. Can your own stem cells help rejuvenate your body? To find out, call Dr. Dan Royal at 702-562-1454. Your own naturally occurring stem cells are the ultimate anti-aging treatment. They can be used to improve facial appearance and hair growth, as well as for aches, pains, and other conditions. Could your own stem cells help you achieve optimal health and wellness? Find out by calling Dr. Royal at 702-562-1454. Don't wait, call today. That number again is 702-562-1454.
Hi, honey.
Don't you hi, honey me. Your life is so f***ed up.
Wait a minute. I'm not that bad.
You have a DUI. You even beat me up the last time you were drunk. And that babe you're running around with is on meth and lost your kids to CPS. And don't get me started on your brother. He's as bad as you are, ignoring his court stuff for so long that now he's going to jail.
Well, what can I do, honey?
You can go see Dr. Richard. That's what. Dr. Richard can help you with court-approved counseling and classes. He works with DUIs and substance abuse, drug court and CPS compliance issues, and can do mental health evaluations. You better call right now, dude. 775-683-1108. Call Dr. Richard today. 775-683-1108.
You know, honey, I tell you what, I'm going to call him right now.
Well, let me give you those numbers again. You better remember this. Call Dr. Richard, 775-683-1108. He can really help you. 775-683-1108.
You know what, honey? I'm doing it for you because I don't want to be f***ed up anymore.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now back to the show.
We are back to the show, and I'm Dr. Dan Royal. You are listening to The Royal Treatment. And before the break, we were talking about obituaries, people who passed away too young from diseases that they shouldn't have had. Mostly people are dying from heart disease, the number one killer in the United States. I was going to say around the world, but that is changing, because we recently talked about the fact that dementia has become the number one cause of death in the United Kingdom. Typically, the number two cause of death, at least here in the United States, is cancer. Number three cause of death is, believe it or not, drug side effects and medical mistakes. 250,000 Americans dead every year because of drug side effects and medical mistakes, not disease. The interesting statistic in the United Kingdom is that when you break down the death statistics, dementia overall was the number one cause of death. But when you do not break down cancer to lung, breast, prostate, leukemia, lymphomas, and you add up the cancers as one group, cancer is actually the number one cause of death in the United Kingdom. Very interesting. One of the things we notice when we go through the obituaries is that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how powerful you are, how successful you are, how much money you have. Everybody gets sick. And even the people with all the power, influence, and money the world has to offer, they die like everybody else. Which begs the question, does medicine have any answers for them? If not, does medicine have answers for you? They don't appear to have any rabbits that they're pulling out of the hat for anybody, regardless of their station in life. You're going to see what I mean when we go through this next list of international deaths of celebrity notables who died just this last week, too young, from diseases they shouldn't have had. Now, when I say that, keep in mind the life expectancy here in the United States is about 78.5 years of age. If you break it down, the women have a life expectancy of about 81, the men have about 76 years of age. Remember, that number is declining, and of course it's going to change throughout the world, but that's what it is here in the United States. So let's get going. Nadia Toffa, an Italian journalist and television presenter, died at 40 years of age after suffering for 2 years from brain cancer at 40 years of age. Sufian Rahman, Malaysian soccer player for the national team, died at 41 years of age from a heart attack. Nengali Lawford, Australian actress, died at 52 years of age from an asthma attack while she was attending a film festival in Edinburgh, England. Marek Dombrowski, Polish politician and entrepreneur, died at 54 years of age at home. no cause given for his death. Ida Colucci, Italian journalist, died at 58 years of age after being sick for some time from cancer. Bruce Deans, New Zealand rugby union player, died at 58 years of age from cancer. V.B. Chandrasekhar, Indian cricket player for the national team, died at 57 years of age from a heart attack. Hector Riviera, Argentine soccer player and manager, died at 59 years of age from colorectal cancer. Gustavo Barreiro, American politician, member of the Florida House of Representatives, died at 60 years of age from a heart attack. Jose Brown, Argentinian soccer player, manager, and 1982 World Cup winner, died at 62 years of age from Alzheimer's disease. Vladimir Petacek, Czech basketball player in the 1976 Olympics, died at 64 years of age. No cause of death given. Peter Fonda, American actor and screenwriter, died at 79 years of age from respiratory failure due to lung cancer. Faisal Masood, a Pakistani doctor and professor, died at 64 years of age from a cardiac arrest. Now, we've talked about on this show in the past, one of the possible, perhaps major causes of heart disease and heart attacks is magnesium deficiency. Magnesium deficiency occurs in the soil and in the food and is often subclinical. What do I mean by that? That means when you check the blood and you look for your level of magnesium, you're looking at about 1% of the magnesium that's in your body. If you really want to know what your nutritional levels are, you have to evaluate them at the cellular level. And there's only one company I know that does that. We use them for our nutritional testing for our patients. They look at amino acids, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and so forth. Whereas with the local lab, you can only tell that you're deficient in iron and ferritin. The vitamin D test is highly questionable and dubious because we've often found that patients are abnormal locally, but normal with the real nutritional test. So please take those results with a grain of salt. Do not be overdosing on vitamin D, but do get plenty of sun, which without, you would not be converting vitamin D from its inactive to active form. So let's continue on. Barbara March, Canadian actress in Star Trek, died at 65 years of age after a cruel battle with cancer. Those were her husband's words. Gina Lopez, Filipino environmentalist, died at 65 years of age from brain cancer. Pinka Stoyanova, Bulgarian basketball player, 1980 Olympic silver medalist, died at 69 years of age after a long illness of some sort. Robert Uko, Kenyan relay runner champion, 1972 Olympics, died at 7 years of age. He was in and out of the hospital over the past year from an unknown illness. Vidya Sinha, Indian actress, died at 71 years of age from respiratory failure. Lars Larsen, Danish retail businessman, one of Denmark's richest men, died at 71 years of age from severe liver cancer. Princess Christina of the Netherlands, a Dutch royal, died at 72 years of age from bone cancer. Jim Marsh, American professional basketball player and broadcaster, died at 73 years of age from Parkinson's disease. Renee Taleman, Belgian soccer manager for the national team, died at 74 years of age from lung cancer. Felice Gimondi, Italian racing cyclist, Tour de France winner in 1965, died at 76 years of age from a heart attack. Kathleen Blanco, governor of Louisiana, member of the Louisiana House of Representatives, died at 76 years of age after a long battle with liver cancer. Jim Cullum Jr., American jazz cornetist, broadcaster, and music preservationist, died at 77 years of age from a heart attack. And finally, Claire Cloninger, an American Christian songwriter and author, died at 77 years of age from dementia-related complications. Well, that's it for the obituaries. Check the obituaries in your area and see how they compare. I'm sure that what we're seeing here locally is not an enigma because we're seeing it internationally, all around the world, as you just heard. Well, last week we were talking about how to nourish our eyes. Our eyes are exposed to some damaging effects, one of which we talked about is blue light. That's where we ended our discussion. We're going to pick it up there today. In regards to blue light, keep in mind that this is man-made blue light we're talking about. And here are some of the side effects that occur from exposure to high energy blue light. Photocellular damage in as few as 3 hours. This is photocellular damage to your eyes. Damage to the photoreceptor layer in your eyes as few as 18 hours. And retinal damage to your eyes and cell death in as few as 9 days. There are things we need to be protecting ourselves from, well, blue light and other types of man-made light that we're seeing from our computer screens, from our laptops, from our iPads, from other such devices that are having an adverse effect on our eyes. And so we need to be paying a little more attention. Now, one of the products that we use for our patients contains a few combinations of, well, they're antioxidants, but they are nutrients known as lutein. Lutein is something that's been found very helpful for the eye, as for the prostate, actually. And zeaxanthin is another type of antioxidant, but we have a few different sources for this. We have zeaxanthin along with its isomers, and from a food source known as the marigold. We have Marky Bright from the Mackey berry and coconut oil. Coconut oil is something we like to see as a medium used for liquid nutritionals, because coconut oil does not go rancid like some of the others, such as vegetable oil and soybean oil. Coconut oil, vitamin E, also good for preserving the nutrients that are given in a liquid form. But coconut oil has some benefits of its own. Medium chain triglycerides from this fatty acid give us energy. Our body uses it for that purpose. It's also needed for healthy thyroid functioning, so keep that in mind. Well, some of the things that this supplement does is it helps to protect us in the vital areas of our macula, which is the center of our vision, reducing the risk of advanced macular degeneration and progression of cataracts. I have a friend who has been told that he needed new glasses when in fact he has cataracts and simply needs cataract surgery. So if you're having changes in your vision, you need to keep that in mind as you are aging, because calcification forms on your lens. I'm Dr. Dan Royal, listening to The Royal Treatment, and we're going to continue our discussion about how to improve our vision when we come back from the break. Stay right with us.
Low-dose chemotherapy uses only 10 to 20% of full-dose chemo, and it's known as IPT, or insulin-potentiated therapy. It's one of the safest and most innovative approaches to treating cancer effectively. IPT virtually eliminates side effects of full-dose chemo, such as nausea, hair loss, and fatigue. Could IPT be the answer you've been searching for? To find out, call Dr. Dan Royal at 702-562-1454. IPT uses low-dose chemo with insulin. Cancer cells have up to 20 times more insulin receptors and use up to 20 times more sugar than normal cells. That's why cancer cells thrive while normal cells struggle to survive. One study showed that using low-dose chemo with insulin resulted in a 10,000% increase in cancer-killing ability. Could IPT with low-dose chemo and insulin help you? Call Dr. Royal at 702-562-1454 to see if you qualify for IPT. That's 702-562-1454.
Hi, I'm Noreen Leary, CEO of the Veterans Guest House. Guest House is a home away from home for our veterans and their families who travel to Reno for medical care. Our house is more than just a warm bed. It's a place of camaraderie where veterans can find support and long-lasting friends. We serve veterans, men and women, young and old, Navy, Army, Marines, Coast Guard, and Air Force. Wherever they hail from and whatever their circumstance, the Veterans Guest House is ready to support them. The reason we feel so strongly about our mission is that we know that many veterans would forego their medical treatments because they simply can't afford the accommodations. The Guest House is one of a kind in the country, funded entirely through private donations. Want to know how you can help? There are many ways you can be involved, from volunteering, providing dinners, or supplying items from our wish list. Find out more about the Guest House at www.veteransguesthouse.org, serving veterans today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Business owners and entrepreneurs know that good information is priceless. Just one great idea can make all the difference. Hi, this is Joe Morabito, host of CEO Business Mind. Each week, in one fast-paced hour, we share lots of proven tips and ideas to help you be more successful in business. Don't miss a minute of CEO Business Mind with me, Joe Morabito, right here on 1180 AM KCKQ.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything.
I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor.
If making my detox public is going to help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth. A message from Truth, the Ad Council, and ONDCP.
This is America Matters Media
on AM 1180 KCKQ,
a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
We are back to the show, and I'm Dr. Dan Royal. You're listening to The Royal Treatment. And before the break, we were talking about how to improve your vision. There is an excellent supplement product we use for our patients to nourish their eyes. And one of the things that it does, this combination of lutein, zeaxanthin, Mackie Bright, and coconut oil, is to protect your macula, the center of your vision, but also protects against the ravages of blue light, man-made blue light, which we have talked about, and reduced glare or night blindness. It maintains healthy cortisol levels, which are produced by our adrenals, reducing stress and providing better and more rested sleep. It lessens eye fatigue, letting you read longer, and moisturizes your eyes without drops, helping to lessen dry eye syndrome. Of course, these things can occur in the young as well as in the elderly, but as we get older, our eyes change shape and things happen to make our vision worse, not better. But it can be preserved and improved by using a natural product with pure nutrients. The National Institutes of Health conducted a well-known age-related eye disease study. It involved monitoring 4,203 patients for over 5 years to gauge the ability of supplements or nutrients to help slow or delay the progression of age-related macular degeneration. This is the loss of your vision, leading to blindness. That is the leading cause of blindness, age-related macular degeneration. A subgroup of these patients experienced an 18% reduced risk of AMD, which is age-related macular degeneration, progression when 10 milligrams of the lutein and 2 milligrams of the zeaxanthin were added to the original supplement that was given them that contained vitamins C, E, zinc, and copper. Another group consisted of 1,055 patients who had the lowest levels of lutein and zeaxanthin, and they supplemented with them. This group was able to reduce AMD progression by up to 26%, showing that these products worked in helping to at least slow the progression of vision loss or macular degeneration. Let's go on. There are many other studies we want to take a look at. Here's one. The health professionals' follow-up study also found that eating foods with high amounts of lutein and zeaxanthin led to a reduced need for cataract surgery. The 5-year follow-up to the Beaver Dam eye study showed that the people with the highest intakes of lutein and zeaxanthin had a successfully lower risk for developing new cataracts than those with the lowest intakes. So there is a correlation when it's lacking in our diet. But it's very easy to supplement it with that as well. A recent study in England found that people with the highest amount of lutein in their blood from regularly eating food high in lutein had the lowest risk for posterior subcapsular cataracts. So not only do they help to improve and slow the progression of macular degeneration, they help to slow and prevent the development of cataracts. In a study dubbed BLUE for blue light user exposure, these same ingredients, lutein and xanthine, were used in a group of 48 healthy individuals, 18 to 25 years, who had extreme exposure to blue light. Study author Dr. James Stringham of the University of Georgia said he found college students to be the perfectly captive audience. We went in thinking we'll put the threshold at 6 hours a day at least of screen time exposure to this man-made blue light. That ended up being kind of ridiculously low. We almost didn't need to screen our participants. Some of them were reporting 16 or 17 hours per day in front of screens. Most college students take notes in class on their computers. They're streaming Netflix and Hulu and whatever else on their tablets. They're looking at their phones constantly. The addiction to blue blasting smartphones, I should say blue light blasting smartphones, laptops, and tablets is no laughing matter. We may see an eye health crisis in the years to come among the young and the very young, not just the elderly. The researchers measured visual performance parameters as well as physical indicators correlating to high screen time, such as eye strain, blurry vision, dry eyes, neck strain, headaches, and poor sleep quality. The student subjects were given a combination of zeaxanthine and MacuBright. One of the others that we talked about, Dr. Stringham noted that visual processing speed went up and increased contrast sensitivity, which is a really great measure of visual performance, and reduced eye strain and eye fatigue. We weren't sure about eye strain going in, but what appears to be happening is by virtue of the carotenoid screening, they're yellow-orange colors, so they screen this high-energy blue light and help to reduce squinting of the eye. It's usually a very low-level squint, but when you're looking at a computer screen 6 to 10 hours a day, this adds up. Cumulatively, this adds to eye strain and fatigue and even headaches. Dr. Stringham made clear that lutein, zeaxanthine, mesoxanthine literally protect the eyes against blue light damage. Macular carotenoids absorb these harmful wavelengths in the visible spectrum with the highest potential to do damage. Other benefits included better sleep, 34% reduction in headaches, and improved macular pigment optical density scores. The combination of these supplements was used in this study at a total of 60 milligrams, which probably doesn't mean much to you, but it did include the zeaxanthine as well as the MacuBright. So that was a slightly different study than the one that we previously looked at. Here's another one in a double-blind, placebo-controlled study involving 59 young subjects. The mean age was 21.7 years of age. They were given nearly the equivalent of either one or two of the gel capsules that we use for our patients, which again contain lutein, zeaxanthine, MacuBright, and coconut oil. The results showed that macular carotenoids helped reduce glare by improving macular pigment, as did the previous study, enhancing repeated exposure photo stress recovery, and disability glare threshold. Study subjects saw improvement in 6 to 12 months, and the higher the amount of the macular carotenoids that they were able to absorb, the better the results. Scientists offered that this improvement could be due to the filtering effect of macular carotenoids as well as their antioxidant capacity. The researchers went on to note that, based on the results of this study, it is clear that increases in the MPOB, the macular repeated optical density, looking for that definition, led to significant improvements in their recovery times and thresholds. These results are supported by the correlations seen at both the baseline and thresholds. Anyway, it goes on to make a conclusion that based on the findings, it appeared that the performance scores of the participants were greatly enhanced by using the natural nutrient supplements. This was not a drug. These were all natural products. Another study was done at the University of Georgia. This was, again, conducted by Dr. Stringham. He went on to say that chronic psychological stress is common in modern society and leads to many negative health outcomes. The macular carotenoids, lutein, zeaxanthin, and mesozeaxanthin have been shown to promote wide-ranging beneficial effects on a number of biological and physiological systems in the body that are impacted by stress. In this study, Dr. Stringham evaluated 151 young subjects, and their same thresholds were measured for their ability to respond to photo stress and their recovery from that. The MPOB is the macular pigment optical density score. There it is. That's something that was being used in this study as well, and the results were most impressive. What he found was that none of the young subjects who received the placebo realized any benefit whatsoever. Only those getting the lutein, zeaxanthin supplement realized less stress and experienced lower levels of cortisol, which was analyzed by the blood test. In the smaller placebo-controlled lutein supplement study, psychological stress and blood cortisol levels were significantly reduced in subjects who supplemented with the nutrient. Another reported benefit is, of course, as we mentioned, better sleep. In a 3-month double-blind study involving 45 people ages 18 to 25 years, sleep was markedly improved in just 12 weeks, and that's from taking the eye supplement containing the natural nutrients. A study published using lutein and xanthin also showed that it suppresses oxidative stress in tissue that can prevent free radicals from combining with retinal collagen and strengthens retinal collagen, significantly preventing reduction in retinal thickness and reducing your vision. Well, that's enough for now. I'm Dr. Dan Roy. Let's do the Royal Treatment. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion. Stay right with us.
Can your own stem cells heal you? The miracle of life begins when an egg and a sperm unite. They form a single stem cell. Stem cells will keep dividing until directed by the body to become something else. Natural occurring stem cells can be found in all tissues of your body. Can your own stem cells help your body heal and repair itself? Find out more by calling Dr. Dan Royal at 702-562-1454. Dr. Royal has developed a unique patent-pending process for obtaining stem cells from your own blood. Stem cells can be concentrated, prepared, and delivered to areas where you need them most to repair old, damaged, and dying cells. Can your own stem cells help your body heal and repair itself? Are you a cancer patient in remission who needs rejuvenation for optimal health and wellness? Find out more by calling Dr. Dan Royal at 702-562-1454. Don't wait, call today. That number again is 702-562-1454.
Home at Last opens doors to family, to freedom, to finally making it yours. Home at Last, a program of the Nevada Rural Housing Authority, opens doors to rural home buyers with incomes of up to $135,000, providing down payment assistance of more than $22,000, plus access to our exclusive pet adoption program. From Gardnerville to Fernley to Carson City and even Sparks, rural happens here in every county in Nevada. Learn more at homeatlastnv.org.
Looking for family entertainment? How about remote-controlled car racing on Nevada's largest indoor dirt track? Whippet RC Raceway and Hobbies. No equipment or racing skill is necessary. Rental cars are available and the staff will instruct you. All ages are welcome with classes for beginners, weekly races, and a monthly competition with a $100 cash prize. Want to buy your own 1/10 scale RC car or need parts on repairs? Whippet has a full hobby shop featuring recognized brands like Lowesley, Associated, Traxxas, Axial, and more, and now carries drones and drone parts. Whippet is the perfect venue for birthday parties or company and other special events. That's Whippet RC Raceway and Hobbies, located at 1005 Standard Street off Panther Drive exit in North Reno. Give them a call today at 775-686-8415. On Facebook and Instagram, search for Whippet RC, offering family fun for everyone 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media
on AM 1180 KCKQ,
a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
We are back to the show. I'm Dr. Dan Royal, and we're now in the fourth quarter of the show. Thank you for staying with us. I know it's sometimes hard to follow our train of thought when we are reviewing studies that have been published. We try to not use too much technical terminology, but sometimes it just can't be helped. The bottom line is that supplementing with nutrients, as been discussed in the last segment of our show, is very helpful for your eyes in reducing your development of cataracts, your loss of vision from macular degeneration, eye dryness, eye fatigue, headaches, and improving your sleep. That's the takeaway from the discussion we just had. Now we're going to talk about a few other things, some of which were published just within the last week, some current events you need to be aware of. Here's one I want to bring to your attention. This one involves something we see very commonly in women who have gone through menopause. When they go through menopause and we check their hormones, guess what? Their estrogen level is 0. So how are these women who are producing no estrogen supposedly getting breast cancer? Good question. The one thing that we do notice is that the brain has not gotten the message. The brain is still producing high amounts of hormone in an effort to stimulate estrogen production. This is called FSH, follicle stimulating hormones. And people have theorized in the past that this may be the real cause of breast cancer. And one of the things that can bring that down is supplementing with, you got it, estrogen, which we use from natural sources. Synthetic estrogen is known to be a cancer-causing agent. It can cause breast cancer all by itself. Natural hormones don't cause cancer. Your hormones aren't going to kill you, but man-made hormones just might. Researchers did a study where they gave a particular antibody to mice that not only increases bone mass, but it counteracts their weight gain. 2 international research teams have determined that an antibody decreases fat while simultaneously boosting metabolism. Their studies involve mice, yet it is believed the findings will also apply to humans. It is hoped that the breakthrough will help osteoporosis, obesity, and a number of other conditions. What did they focus on in this study? Well, they focused on FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. As I just mentioned, these hormones, such as FSH, also LH, which stimulates progesterone production, that's luteinizing hormone. These hormones increase when menopause occurs. Menopause is tied to a number of different health problems in women, like the loss of bone density and increase in weight gain. FSH is generated by the pituitary gland in your brain in mammals of both sexes, and it spurs the growth of ovarian follicles in females. That is when the ovaries are responding, and it regulates several reproductive processes. The antibody in question heightens bone mass, increases metabolism, and decreases bone or body fat in mice. It is believed that blocking FSH to counteract menopause symptoms will help treat conditions like cardiovascular disease, obesity, cancer, and osteoporosis. When women are having hot flashes, what are they really experiencing? They're experiencing a response to high levels of FSH that are trying to stimulate estrogen that is not being produced by their ovaries. And as I mentioned, one of the treatments, beside this antibody that they're using to lower FSH, is supplementing with natural hormones, including a small amount of natural estrogen. The two international research teams performed their work at Maine Medical Center Research Institute and the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. They used a synthetic mouse antibody to key in on a single subunit of the FSH. The antibody was tested on female mice whose ovaries were removed. The removal of the ovaries caused high levels of FSH. The antibody was also tested on female and male mice that were provided with high-fat foods. In both instances, treatment using the antibody spurred fat loss and a faster metabolism. The results have intrigued scientists and medical professionals around the world. Imagine that. More extensive studies will be performed in the near future to determine if the findings are relevant to human health. But as I said, there are ways to lower FSH. The best is to supplement with natural hormones. We call this hormone replacement therapy, but you can get this HRT from natural sources. We get hormones from the wild yam that has to be pharmacologically manufactured. If you just buy over-the-counter wild yam, it's going to do you nothing because the body will not convert that to hormones such as progesterone. But it can be converted pharmacologically, if you will, through a process in the compound pharmacy. So you can obtain natural hormones from the wild yam. You can obtain them from soy through the compound pharmacy. They don't have to be chemical made with side effects. And the results are, as you just heard, an improvement in bone density, treating osteoporosis, and a reduction in weight by counteracting weight gain. That in and of itself is worth paying some attention to. No doubt the antibody will be expensive and will have side effects. The natural hormones will not. Here's another article. This one has to do with obesity. We just got through talking about that. Obesity-associated cancers are affecting people at earlier ages in the United States. This is what a population-based study found. The analysis of more than 2.6 million incident cases from 2000 to 2016 found that the percentage of new cases of obesity-associated cancer occurring in individuals 65 and older decreased over this interval, whereas it increased in those ages 50 to 64. The trend did not extend to individuals younger than 50. However, as the proportion of obesity-related cancers occurring in this group decreased as well. Demographic subgroup analyses found that the percentages of such cancers occurring in individuals 50 to 64 versus other age groups increased among most groups, but was especially noticeable among the non-white population, which includes Hispanic men, black women. This was reported in the JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association. The shift of cancer burden to younger age groups has important public health research and policy implication, the authors wrote. First, earlier onset of cancer may be associated with more advanced stage breast or colorectal cancer at diagnosis, as well as more aggressive cancer, premature mortality, and more years of potential life lost. Well, there goes the life expectancy continuing to decrease in the U.S. The results also suggest that cancer screening should be initiated earlier, especially in those with personal, family, and genetic risk factors. I had a patient in my office today who started screening about 4 years ago. She has a history of cancer in her family and suspected that she would develop it, which she did. She developed a rare form of cancer. It was surgically removed. She's scheduled to meet with her oncologist tomorrow, who's going to now tell her she needs chemotherapy, radiation, not as treatment, but as a prevention. I asked her to find out what they're using as biomarkers to determine that she actually has cancer after the surgery because we checked her nagalase level, which dropped significantly after her surgery. We checked her AMAS level, which is her cancer antibody level, which is elevated. But she's doing the treatment we talked about on this show before, the photon protocol, using a combination of light, sound, and frequency to lower her nagalase in combination with minerals and to also lower her AMAS or cancer antibody levels. Modern medicine is doing nothing, but they will give you chemotherapy and they will give you radiation so long as your insurance is paying for it. If people had to pay for chemotherapy and radiation, guess what? They wouldn't be getting it. Well, further, in regards to the obesity issue, a greater cancer burden among individuals younger than 65 means more incoming and younger Medicare beneficiaries will be cancer survivors with higher burdens of comorbidities, mental health problems, functional impairments, financial hardships, etc. So we have a lot to think about. The study also included more than 3.4 million incident cases of non-obesity associated cancers. The investigators examined changes in incident rates, the number of incident cases, and the distribution among the population subgroups. But mostly they found that as people are increasing in weight, cancers are increasing, particularly among the ages of 50 to 64. Here's another article that is some food for thought. This one has to do with all of the imaging that we're doing for diagnostic purposes. A recent study at one New York hospital found that nearly a third of its patients undergoing multiple cardiac imaging tests were getting a cumulative effect dose of more than 1,000 millisieverts of radiation, equivalent to 5,000 chest x-rays, and they're doing it with FDA approval. The radiation doses of CT scans are 100 to 1,000 times higher than conventional x-rays, again with FDA approval. Scientific American confirms that high readings, such as a single CT scan, subjects the body to between 150 to 1,100 times the radiation of a conventional X-ray. Researchers at the National Cancer Institute estimate that 29,000 future cancer cases could be attributed to the 72 million CT scans performed every year in this country. And this statistic is from 2007, so it's been performed at that rate since 2007. FDA-approved tests that are estimated to kill between 15 to 20,000 people a year from cancer. In 1980, there were 3 million CT scans done, but by the year 2007, the number increased to about 70 million. Currently, it's estimated that at least 80 million CT scans are done every year. In 10 years, that adds up to 80 million scans, enough to irradiate the entire American population almost 3 times. In 20 years, it would be 6 times. Something to think about. I'm Dr. Dan Royal. There are many things that we can do to improve our health, and our job here is to keep you informed. Hopefully your time with us has been well spent today. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at droyal@royalmedicalclinic.com. We'll be back next week for another program. Until then, you all be well.